Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mo if you're new here. I hope you're all well. Today we're over at my desk vicinity because we are talking about productivity, organization, getting our life together, and I'm going to share with you guys how I do all of that on this one app called Notion. I am so excited to say that Notion are sponsoring this video. It feels like a dream because I love them. I am obsessed with Notion. I've told all my friends about them. If you don't know what Notion is, it is basically this all-in-one workspace. It's completely customizable and you can really mold it to work for however you want it to. I first heard about Notion through Damon Dominic's video, which is very good. I'll leave it linked down below if you haven't seen it already. And after that, I kind of just like spiraled into watching all these like Notion tours on YouTube and looking at templates. I'm not gonna lie, it can be kind of overwhelming whenever you first start. I'm gonna share with you guys my Notion. I feel like I've figured out now what finally works for me. I've kept it quite minimal and functional, and I'll also show you guys how I plan out my week because it is a Sunday and that is something that I like to do at the weekends. So let's just hop right into it. This is what my Notion looks like whenever you first go onto it. This is basically my home page. This is the hub where I have links to all my other pages. Up at the top we have my top tasks, then we have this little reflex section which is one of my favorites, and then at the bottom we have this weekly outline which is where I like to plan out my weeks and my classes and any tasks that I have to get done. So if we go back up to the top, what I love about Notion is that it is completely customizable. I have changed the cover photo here. They have some from the Met Gala and some colors, but you can just upload one from your computer or link one from Google. I obviously have Monet's Water Lilies because it is one of my favorite paintings. I'm a basic art hoe. For every page you can also customize the icon, which I just think is a really cute touch. You can use these different emojis or you can also upload a photo. To create anything on Notion, you just click / and it comes up where you can have all these different options. Just have text, you can create a page, and there is the to-do list, and you can also do build a list, number list, and toggle list. The to-do lists are also just so satisfying. Whenever you click them, it crosses off and you can just delete them at the end of the day. That's what I do. So I haven't done anything yet. Well, I guess I'm filming the Notion video so I can tick that off. And also on my homepage, I just have this little quote reminder. Because I go on to this every day, I think it's nice to see something. I've also added in this image which has an abundance mindset, which is something that I always like to think about. I just got this off Pinterest. I'll leave my Pinterest down below. But again, to add an image, you just do / image. You can upload anything from your computer or link it. And then underneath the image, I have quick links to my YouTube, Instagram, and email, which is always just helpful if I have to get to them. And then I have these 3 sections. I have daily, work, and college. So I mostly use Notion for my day-to-day planning and also my YouTube and content planning. So let's start with my daily page, which has a cute little cow because I thought it was adorable. I really like the color scheme of this page. I don't know, it's kind of like greeny neutral. Up at the top we have a more extended to-do list, and this is in the board view. You can change this to any kind of view. You can have a list view, and you can do it as like a timeline or a calendar. This is what I love about Notion, is that it is completely customizable and you can also change it whenever you feel like something's not working for you. I love the board view because it kind of feels like sticky notes and you can drag them whenever you've got them done. So this is all the to-dos that I have for today. I've divided it up into college, work, and personal. We have a lot of personal things to do today because it is a Sunday. I need to clean the room and the apartment, plan out my week, work out. And once I've got something done, I can just drag it into that column, and it's just very satisfying, you know, it's like ticking off that box. And then at the bottom of my daily page, I have my habit tracker. To import this habit tracker, I just went to this templates button, and they have so many. They have ones to do with design, education, if you want to take notes. Honestly, like the resources that they have is incredible. So I just took their inbuilt habit tracker, and then you just click use templates and they'll import it into your own Notion. And then I just switched out the habits that I wanted to track. I do exercise, read, journal, drink water, post Instagram, which isn't completely necessary, but I like to keep track of it. And then I have my mood and my screen time. These columns are all kind of tick boxes, but you can change them to whatever you want. So you can make it a text box, a number, a select, a multi-select. So that is what my mood column is. I've got this multi-select where whenever you go onto it, you can add in all your different moods. And then for screen time, I just have as a text because I can fill it in. And I've really enjoyed tracking my screen time because I feel like my mood definitely depends on how much time I'm spending on my phone. And I also really want to reduce it. Like, this is kind of embarrassing. There are days where I literally spent 8 hours on my phone on February 6th and I felt meh, which of course I did. If we go back to home, I have my weekly overview, which is basically just a copy of my weekly outline at the bottom. I prefer to do it on the home page. I just kind of have that in case I want to click into something else. And then I have my monthly overview, which kind of just outlines my top tasks for every month, and then I divide it into the weekly sections. So for February, I basically just have 2 main things that I want to get done: organize an Instagram live because that's something that I want to try, and then I want to get 4,000 to 5,000 words of my dissertation done. I haven't really got there yet. Underneath, I have different columns for each week, and I have a to-do list. Right at the bottom, I have a calendar. Notion is just so great. You can / create a calendar, and you can do one inline or a full page. In the calendar, I just write down any key events, any videos that I'm posting, presentations that I have to get done, and that just kind of serves as a reminder for whenever I'm planning out my month. At the bottom of this little monthly layout, I've created a new month button. Here is the monthly template which I created. It is just really simple, but I feel like that's what works best for me. And to create a template, you just do / template button. You can drag in whatever you want to then be the template. So what I did was I dragged in all of these blocks into here, and then you can rename it, add a new month, and then so anytime I click that, it then creates that. So those are all my pages in my daily section. Let's go down to my weekly overview so we can plan that out. Kind of similar to my monthly overview, I have like my top task, and then I divide it out into every day. I have my classes highlighted in a different color. We have art, gender and Florence on Monday, and painting Britain and Ireland Wednesday. I only have 4 hours of college a week. I don't know what I'm paying for. To create your different colors, again, you can just click this button and you can change it. You can change the color of the font and then the background, which I really like to highlight it. Notion also has different fonts and sizes. If you just click the little 3 dot, you can do a kind of slimmer page. You can do a bigger font. I like the small font and the full width, and then it has these 3 fonts. You have serif and mono. I kind of just like the default. It's pretty clean. What I like to do at the weekends to plan out my week is to write down all my priorities and things that I need to get done. Then I'll just drag them into each day. And what I love about Notion is that it is just so like malleable. So submit dissertation chapter, I'm going to put that down for Friday. Edit my dissertation chapter on Monday. Edit Notion video also on Monday because that is due on Tuesday. FaceTime Anna, I'll have to organize that with her, but I'm gonna say Tuesday evening would be nice. And then for every day, I also have a new to-do button just in case I have other things that I need to get done. So say I have like an appointment at 12 p.m. I can just write that in. I also like to write down what kind of workouts I'm gonna do. So on Monday, I wanna do a run. I usually do like a 5k run, and I'll also do that on Wednesday. And then maybe on Tuesday, I'll just do like an at-home workout. What can happen on Thursday? Let's go for a walk. Let's walk to the beach. And yeah, that's basically how I plan out my weeks. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'll highlight any key events. So for example, this video, which is due at 5 p.m, I'm gonna highlight that in yellow. Maybe record podcast, I will also highlight that. But let's go back to these other 2 columns. I have my work and my college. My YouTube dump is one of the pages which I go to the most because I use Notion to organize all my content. So I have that favorited over here, which means it's just more easily accessible. To do that, you just go up to the 3 dots and you can click to remove or add it to your favorites. Here is my YouTube dump page. I have a little camcorder as the icon, which is super cute. I have my 2021 content, a little motivational quote, and then my YouTube and Instagram main goals that I can see every day. Then I have my video timeline, which is in the calendar view, and at the bottom I have video ideas. What I love about Notion is that everything is just so like movable. I can drag one of these into the calendar. So say I want to do a self-care vlog on Friday Friday the 5th, I can just drag that and it will then create the event and the page within that day. I actually share this page with my manager. If you click share, you can add in anyone who you want to see this page, and it then just makes it super easy because she can see what kind of content that I'm thinking about, and she can go to my dream brands list and look at my goals as well. I have a little reminder here of my next call with her, which is March the 2nd, and this is highlighted, but it also is a page. The thing I love about Notion is that you can create pages within pages. It's kind of like Inception, which is very satisfying. So even this is just like a highlight, I can then click on it and write notes about the call. So I have things that I want to get done and things to check out. And then I have my dream brands page, which I won't really click into, but that's just a list of all the brands that I want to work with, and I have all their websites linked. So the content calendar is the page which I use the most. I organize all my videos here, and I have this organized in like a list column view, but if I wanted it to be a calendar, I could change it to that, and I just love the way that you can constantly be changing everything. So if we go back to the default view, I have different columns for all the information that I want to keep. I have the idea of the video, the date that I'm thinking of publishing it, whether it's sponsored or not, the genre, and then a tick box for whenever I published it. For the ideas, I can open each of these as a page and write down all my notes on the videos, which I just think is so helpful to keep all that information in one place. For example, this journal with me, I never posted it, but I have all my notes on what I wanted to say about journaling, and then so that is all kept in this one place here. And I decided that the genre would be kind of chatty, wellness, or I have the vlog or Dublin diaries, and it's just like a nice way to kind of keep track of everything that I'm creating. And you can constantly be adding in new columns if you want to track different information. So for example, maybe I did a column where I linked the past videos, so if I ever had to like go back and see what I created, I can just come to this, which is actually kind of useful, so I might keep this. So here I'm going to click URL and just rename that as video link, and then I can like start linking all my videos. So for example, did like a 2020 reflections, I can link that in there, and then whenever I come to this, I can just click open link and it will take me to that video. So that is just really cool, and that is how I've been keeping track of my content so far. Also underneath my work, I have a data pod page. This one is just really simple. We just list out any ideas that we have for the podcast. Most of the time we do kind of off the cuff podcasts. And then underneath work, I have a budgeting page. So this is where I keep track of all my expenses, and it's something that I want to get in the habit of doing. As you can see, I haven't really filled out February so much. I kind of do it towards the end of the month. But if we click onto January, it shows you exactly how much I spent. I wrote in everything that I was spending, the amount. I have these different categories. So I have recurring if it's like rent or utilities. I have work, personal, groceries, bank, alcohol. Whenever you do an amount column, it immediately adds it up at the bottom, so it has the sum of 1,172. But if I added in, like say I went to Lidl and I spent like 10, 20, then the amount automatically changes. It's just so nice to kind of keep track of everything, and I really want to learn how to budget a bit better. So I think first up I need to figure out how much I'm kind of spending on a day-to-day basis. So the final two pages here are on Trinity and future stuff. So future stuff is actually just a Notion template. I have not filled it in because I have not thought about my future at all. This was like a really cool built-in template from Notion. As I said, you can just go here and you can have pages to track your resume or your job applications, which is what I had here. So I just used that template. For college, I only have one page because I've been so used to taking all my class notes in a notebook and then writing my essays just on Word. But this is what I use to track all my assignments and essays, and I've actually found this really helpful because I can like see all the dates. Again, if I wanted, I could view this as like a calendar, which is really cool. For the time being, I just have it as this list view. I like to sort it by things that are upcoming up at the top. So if I do this, I can do the dates descending and whether it has been completed. No, we want dates ascending. There we go. I have a type column where I select whether it's an essay, draft, presentation, dissertation or exam. I have the course, and then on this bit I have my marks so I can just track like how I did on everything. That is basically my main home section. Now let's get into this reflect bar, which is I think my favorite part of my Notion. I took this little layout from I think Christy Lynn. I have 4 main pages. I have what I'm absorbing, my monthly reflections, my brain dump and my dream life, and this dream life page came from Twirling Pages. I used her template. So for what I'm absorbing, this is where I keep track of everything I'm watching, reading and listening to. I've organized this in a list view, and then at the bottom I have a little to-do list of things that I want to check out. Here I have the type of media. I have whether it is a non-fiction, a fiction, TV, article, film or podcast, and then I have the name, and then I have the status bar, and then I like to score everything out of 5. As you can see, It's Okay to Not Be Okay and Crash Landing on You were a solid 5 out of 5. I don't know why I gave What's Wrong with Secretary Kim a 4. I feel like we should change that to a 5. It was excellent. And what I love again about Notion is that I can just like open each of these into a page. So for example with Siddhartha and IQA4, whenever I finished I took some notes. So this was recommended by Leah's Field Notes, big shout out. At the minute I'm currently reading Severance. So good, kind of a bit trippy because it is about a pandemic. I've sorted this by stuff that are currently happening, so the status is ascending, so whether I'm reading, listening, watching or wanting to begin will all come before the things that I've finished. So throughout the year all the stuff that I've finished will then be at the bottom. And if we go back to the reflect, I then have my monthly reflections, which is another one of my favorite pages. I love this section so much. I started doing this at the start of the year as a way to kind of just like reflect and reset on the end of the month and set my intentions for the new month. I do all of this in my like paper journal, which is here, where I like brain dump a lot, but it's also nice to keep track of it here because then I can add them to my like monthly goals and any to-dos that I have to get done. So I've created this template where I can just immediately add a new month, and like most things on my Notion, it is very simple and easy to use. Under my monthly reflections, I have my reflections, I have themes, I have what gave energy, what drained energy, and my intentions for next month. So if we go back, we can look at my January one, and it's just really nice to reflect on any good things that happened. Here I have the playlist which I made in January with my friend Janine. As you can tell, I'm listening to Lexi Lombard, but this is a banging playlist, so you should go check it out if you want. The third page on my reflect section is a brain dump. This is kind of just where I can add different notes or journal entries. If I'm on my phone or if I'm like in the library and I don't have my journal, this is where I'll like just write something to do a little brain dump. So the last page I have is my dream life section, which is really cute. I took this from Twirling Pages. I'll have her template linked down below, and I kind of just adapted it. It's where I have all my like goals, manifestations, intentions, and it's also where I've linked my vision board for 2021. Up at the top I have 4 separate pages: body, mind, work, manifestations. And if we go into like say mind, this is where I have all my kind of goals and stuff related to growth and rest. I have these done as toggle lists, which are a really cool kind of list in Notion. I feel like such a nerd whenever I say that, but these can open up and then you can write more things in it. It's just so satisfying. So one of my things that I want to do more of is start practicing Korean, and so underneath this toggle list I can write down points. So if I want to use Memrise or Duolingo, or if I want to look at Zoom classes, and then I can do a little to-do of buy a workbook, or maybe I want to watch more Korean dramas. Sorry, I can't spell. And then I can just click that and it keeps all the information there, but it looks way cleaner. So that's what I have for all of these other things. This is my vision board for 2021. Isn't she sexy? As it says, you have to trust that the future will be a bit sexy. I did it on PowerPoint, where I just like inserted all the images and layered them. Most of these I found off Pinterest or Instagram. Kind of have like my future apartment section here for like next autumn. whenever I'm living alone maybe. And up at the top I have this city section where I do want to be living in a big city come September, October. I have Kinda Cool whenever she was in New York, and then I just have these kind of Pinteresty images of girls in New York because big vibes. It's just nice to see this every day and be constantly reminded of what I'm trying to work towards. Underneath that I have some more quotes, very cheesy here. I have 2021 goals, so this was the stuff that I talked about in my YouTube video, and then I have my big manifestations, which are kind of linked to my work goals, where it's stuff that I'm like striving to within the next 5 or 10 years. So this is just one of my favorite sections of my Notion because it's just so wholesome and it is constantly reminding me to better myself and reminds me what I'm working towards and what I want out of life. Nice to have that alongside the practicalities of organizing my week and organizing like my college and stuff. So that is basically my Notion. That is where it is at right now. I know mine is pretty simple, but I feel like it works really well for me, and if I need to like add anything to it, I know that's always an option. Like you can always build off your basic foundation of Notion. I'll have everything linked down below. Once again, thank you so much to Notion for sponsoring this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a lovely Sunday, a lovely week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.